I'm going to just take you guys through a very, very, very basic 101 nutrition facts panel lesson here and teach you how you just decipher some of the most basic information that you need to understand. And I want you to get into the habit of always, always, always consulting this nutrition facts panel for every single product that you pull off the store shelves that ultimately get put in your cart and then that will ultimately get put into your body. Because what you get from each product could be ingredients that are either going to promote health or deteriorate health. And you'll learn how to spot some of the harmful ingredients and spot some of the healthful ingredients in food products as we move forward in these lessons. But for now, I just want to teach you the basics. So, when you pick up a food product and you look at the label, the very first thing that your eyes need to look at is up here underneath the title, the serving size and the servings per container that you're dealing with. That is the most important thing to look at first. All right, your eyes should scan up here, see that there's a cup, then that you're dealing with 2 servings per container. After you find out what the servings is per product, you need to come down here and look at the calories. That's the next thing your eyes are going to scan, because you need to know whether or not you need to multiply these calories by the servings per container based on how much you eat. Now, what we're looking at here is actually a instant macaroni and cheese package that you would just throw in the microwave and out would come macaroni and cheese. So what you're dealing with here is a cup of that. But one of those packages actually is saying that it's going to contain 2 cups per package. Now, if you didn't pay attention to this, most people would probably eat the whole package without even thinking twice about it and thinking that they only consume 250 calories. Well, if you did that and you weren't label savvy, what you would in reality be consuming is actually 500 calories, because that whole package contains 2 cups, 2 servings per container, which you would have to multiply this plus all of these other nutrients and vitamins and minerals down here by 2 to get exactly how much that you would have consumed from that. So you always need to find out what you're dealing with by looking at the serving size and the servings per container and then looking at the calories. The next point that I need you to always look at is the ingredients list. This is actually the most important part of a food label, because here the food companies can't lie to us. They must list everything that the food product contains, and they can't leave anything out. And the ingredients list is in order from what product or what ingredient is found in it in the highest quantity. So there's more enriched bleached wheat flour in this product than there is sesame seeds, which is the least amount. So, and this just goes in descending order all the way down. Okay, there's less and less and less of all these as you go down to the bottom. So obviously then the enriched bleached flour is going to make up the majority of that product. So this ingredients list is essential to look at. And as a general rule of thumb, you're looking for products that have the fewest ingredients possible. So if you had another instant macaroni and cheese product right beside you there, and you didn't know which one to buy, and they were very similar in terms of the serving size and the amount of calories, but the other product maybe had half the amount of ingredients that this one does, you're most likely going to be better off buying the product with less ingredients, because you're going to be running into less preservatives and fillers, sweeteners, trans fats, and all that nastiness. You know, the more ingredients that there are, the more likely that there's not healthy ingredients involved with that. So that's just a very quick general rule of thumb. And so this is the next most important point that you need to look at after the serving size calories is the ingredients list. But this is the most important part of the food label that you need to consult. So just real quick then, as far as how this other stuff is broken down, this part of the food label, the total fat, the cholesterol, and sodium are the nutrients that we need to limit in our diets. Okay, these the total fat, saturated trans cholesterol, and sodium can cause health problems if you get too much. And then the products or the ingredients here are the ones that can actually promote health. And this down here. And I didn't highlight sugars there because sometimes depending on the product that you have, these sugars may deceive you, specifically if you have a dairy or fruit product. The fructose and lactose, the simple sugars in those products, can be included in this total sugar number, which if you looked at it from that point, if this is really high, you think, oh boy, that's not a healthy product. But in reality, the sugars are coming from healthier sources like the milk and the fruit that, would mislead you if you didn't understand that. But anyhow, we do want to limit how much sugar that we consume. So I didn't highlight that in green. But the ones in green are the ones that we're looking to get some of or more into our bodies because they are going to promote health. And then the last thing that I do just want to point out here is the percent daily values. And I don't like this necessarily because the percent daily values is set up for somebody on a 2,000 calorie diet. And as you guys know, most of you aren't on a 2,000 calorie diet, all right? Some of you, the majority of you, are eating significantly less than that or need significantly less. So this percent daily value doesn't really play a very important role in your label reading. But there is one down here that does, and that is your calcium. Whether you're male or female, I need you to look at the calcium as well to see how many milligrams of calcium that you're dealing with. So you're probably sitting there thinking, what do you mean milligrams? It's a percent sign. And yes, it is. Every single food label that you pick up will list calcium as a percent. But there's a little trick with calcium that you can do to figure out exactly how many milligrams of calcium is in a product. And calcium is the only one that you can do this for. And all you have to do is simply take this percent sign, erase it, and add a 0. That's it. So in this case, we would take 200, or we would take 20%, erase the percent sign, add a 0, and now 1 cup of this macaroni and cheese would have 200 milligrams of sodium per serving. And then, just so you know, males and females under the age of 50 need 1,000 milligrams of calcium per day, and males and females who are over the age of 50 need 1,200 milligrams of calcium per day. So this is a very important mineral that I want you guys to look at whenever you're reading your food labels to see how many milligrams of calcium is in the product per serving. And the higher the number, the better off. But in this case, just because this is 200 milligrams, which is a good number for calcium, but with all this other stuff that's in it and stuff I didn't show you and explain yet, this would not be a great food product to get your calcium from. So I'll get off of that soapbox and talk about that another time. But for now, that's the basics. Serving size, look at first, then calories, then ingredients list, then scan some of this other stuff, which we'll talk about later. Look at the calcium, and I want you to do this every single time you pick up a food product. So on Wednesday, we'll delve a little bit deeper into this ingredients list and learn which items in the ingredients list that we're going to look to limit and even eliminate from your diets. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.